Hey guys, Etian here, and I'm back with another video. This is quite an interesting topic. Today I won't be talking about Beats of War, but I'll be talking about some of the comments that I've been seeing online regards superhero movies and different franchises like, Wakanda Forever, Black Panther that just came out. There's another superhero, Black Adam, that came out. And I've seen a lot of reviews and people talking about superheroes and talking about how everybody's sort of claiming that this sort of superhero fatigue, that the audiences are tired or it's time to move on for production companies to stop making superhero content. But for me, I think it's the opposite, And before I say anything, I'm gonna sip a cup of tea because obviously I'm in Scotland and it's cold. So, claiming this superhero fatigue, I think from a perspective as a filmmaker and a comic book creator, I think spending a whole year right now and being known to a big comic book community in Scotland and being part of that huge community and seeing that a lot of work that is produced by independent creators, and also looking at other big influencers worldwide who are doing really well in comic books, like people like Mark Miller. You've got this guy called Eric from the Ripperverse with Isom doing so good. There's a lot of content out there, a lot of IPs, a lot of comic book stories there that are waiting to be explored, right, in the right way. But what I always say is that I think I've seen a tweet recently. Was it Mark Miller that posted it? He was resharing this news article about how some writers in these big studios, reference, original material from the comic books. And to be honest with you, for me, I think that's the worst decision you could do especially for the fans. People have been investing a lot of money in these comic books. People spend hundreds of thousands buying comic books, having signed copies, investing in merchandise, different things, so that they literally invest their lives in these characters. So if you go and make a movie without having to sort of reference the material, the original source material, I mean, who are you making the movie for? It doesn't make sense. Who are you making a TV show for? It doesn't make sense. And I think that's what takes it back to this original conversation about people claiming that that superhero fatigue. No, I don't believe so. I believe that there's some cool TV shows that have been made a few years ago, or some good movies or shows that are being produced today that are still really good. And I think most of the successful ones actually pay they sort of reference, original material, because I mean, you're trying to basically get these characters that people have sort of invested their lives into and sort of move them, translate them to a screen. Obviously, if you start making up a new story, people will be like, wait a minute, I've been reading Beats of War for the last 10, 20 years. I never seen that in this series. This doesn't make sense. How do you think those people would feel, right? So I still think that it's important for creators, big studios, and myself being a filmmaker to reference original material. Go there, read through there, see how the costume look like, the characters, who are these characters, where they come from, reference the material. And if you've got an IP with the big fan base behind, people won't watch these movies. But what I've been seeing is that there's a lot of politics now involved in comic books. People are changing stories, they're not referencing original material. What do you expect? People will not go watch. But I'll give you a good example of how successful actually superhero shows and movies can still be even up to date. It's a very exciting genre, because I feel like for me with film, you're going to the cinema to escape, right? You want to be taken on this journey, and sometimes it can be fun, sometimes it can be serious, sometimes it can be just humor, right? You can't take it too serious. It's entertainment, right? But if you sort of stay away from the source material and start creating stuff, people can see through that. I mean, like, I watch all these Marvel movies till about Endgame, and after Endgame, I don't know what's going on, man. But Doesn't mean that it's because superhero fatigue, right? Because right now I'm watching The Boys from Amazon, which is really good, super grounded, superhero show that is out there that is doing really good. The Mandalorian is really good. You've got The Punisher, which is quite old, but I think I heard that they bring back The Punisher. But when you watch the show, it's just well done from the writers, the way the characters sort of introduced. There's just that sort of paying homage and referencing these sort of ideas around who this character is, where they come from. Even Matt Reeves did it recently with the Batman. I'm not sure that a lot of people. I mean, for me, I love the movie, the new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson. But you saw that in the making of it, Matt Reeves had to go and sort of dig out some of the old comic books, the first comic books where Batman was a detective, and just kind of wanted to bring that to the screen. So working with the writers, or just writing it himself to sort of translate what was in the original materials, the comic books, and putting that on the screen. You always have to reference the comic books, because obviously you're trying to make it for the fans. As a comic book creator and a filmmaker, if I wanted to make a Batman movie and I don't check out the comic books, that's like me randomly dropping on from another planet and be like, I'm gonna make a Batman movie. I don't know anything about the Batman movies. How do you think people have been investing in these characters for like 70 years? How old is Batman? This IP is really old, so you can't just randomly do it without referencing the source material. So I don't think there is superhero fatigue. I still think that there's a lot of cool creators, independent, the publishers who've got some really cool comics books. You've got Beats of War, obviously, with myself and other creators around Scotland, the UK, worldwide, who've got some really good content. And all you need is good studios who are willing to sort of listen and translate that to the big screen. I mean, I've been seeing this thing with Netflix where they are. I think it was the reason why Henry Cavill just sort of left the show was because they were not so referencing from, they're staying away from the books like the way it is in the game and the books. I mean, and the fans are not happy about it, obviously, because if you're making that show, I get it, like you want to do your own take to it, but at least take some time, read the comic books, play the games, get to know the world that has become this huge thing that people have invested their lives into, and then just do the project. And like you've seen some successful movies that have actually been referencing source material. They've been successful because people know what they're going to expect. They want to see these characters come to life. People, they've been investing in their trading cards, comic books, signing copies. They value this. This is like an asset. So you just getting that character and completely turning it to something completely different, I would not be so happy about something like that if it happened to my comic books. I think it's important to know that good content is out there, good comic books out there, there's amazing creators, there's good self-publishers who've got some good material, and they just need the right studios, the right people, the right writers to work with, and people continuously enjoy these stories. So to sort of conclude this video, I don't think there's superhero fatigue. All these claims about superhero fatigue, it just create things that people want. I create comic books for the fans, for the audiences, and if I'm making a movie about Beats of War, I'm not going to bring in a random villain from another planet that never existed in the comic books. I mean, people will not be so happy. So I think there's no such a thing as superhero fatigue. I just think that studios, people who are picking up these shows to do, please look at original material, especially if it's a big IP that has sort of grown and it's got a big audience. You want people to be happy, you want to keep the fans happy, so I think that filmmakers and big studios should just go back to attending Comic-Cons and source for new creators, new material, things that you can work with, and work with these creators throughout the whole process of creating a show or a movie. And I think they did this really well with the what's the new, there's this new show on Netflix about this guy with nightmares. It's called, I know the show. Yeah, they sort of made the show that looked like the comic books. And I think Zack Snyder did the same thing with 300 as well. When you look at the way he made 300, if you reference the comic books, some of the page, the guys actually went there and recreated some sequences, some panels on film. And right there is respect for the original creators. And I support that fully. And just always reference material from the creators. That's where the original ideas came from here. And it's important to respect that. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe. That was just my take. I don't think there's any superhero fatigue. I think you just have to source the real material, work with the creators to develop some really good shows and some good movies. And myself being a creator, that's something I value very important. I value my audiences, my fans, people who have invested their money into these comic books. So me doing Beats of War as a TV show live action, you better believe that there's gonna be the Reza gang. You better believe that E.T. is coming. You better believe that Nye from Kepler Planet 2B is coming. That's the planet of water and ice, by the way. And you better believe that E.T. is going to land in Scotland. Like the way I introduce the characters, it's very important. It's very important because people start investing. As soon as you get issue 1 of something, of a graphic novel, a comic book, you want to just go on this ride. And once you see that being translated on TV or in a movie, it's a dream come true for the fans. So it's very important. And there's no such thing as superhero fatigue. But anyway, guys, I'm not gonna go on the rant, so don't forget to subscribe. Now, give your comments and tell me what your thoughts are about these claims that there is superhero fatigue. Tell me what your thoughts are, what you're watching, what's interesting out there that I can check out. And yeah, I forgot this Netflix show that I've been watching that was sort of reference on a comic book. I think I'll find it in a bit. Just give me a second before I sign out. What's the name of the show? Yes, The Sandman. I've not read the comic books, but apparently it's just exactly as the way it appears in the comic books, graphic novels. So from the casting and everything, come on, guys. And this is one of the good shows that have been doing really well on Netflix. So there's no such thing as superhero fatigue. I love superhero stories. I love science fiction. I like being taken to another planet. And yeah, just look at read the comic books, read graphic novels. Go and search for creators with original content. Work with them on these big productions. It's very important. Don't forget to subscribe, leave your comments, and until next time, I'm signing off.